Hello, this is the RPG Crawler, and welcome to another Indie Game Friday, where each week I take a look at a different independent role-playing game. This week I was beginning to lament the overall lack of really nice releases, when one popped up that caught my eye at the very last minute, and I'm glad that it did. 7, The Days Long Gone, was developed by Fool's Theory and published by IMGN Pro, and was released on Steam and GOG.com on December 1st, 2017. It currently lists at $29.99 US. 7, The Days Long Gone is a top-down action sci-fi RPG set in a fascinating pseudo-cyberpunk style setting in the distant future. In it, you play the master thief Teriel, and must use skills of infiltration and stealth to accomplish a wide variety of missions in a largely open-world setting. Now, I am on record as saying that sci-fi is usually not my favorite genre, but I've found that the storyline behind this one was actually really enjoyable, and it took a great deal of effort to stop playing after a few hours just so I could do this quick review suited for Indie Game Friday. The story starts out in a distant future where man's advanced technology eventually brought about a war between humans and demons, which resulted in the loss of much of civilization. A man named Drugan reunited the warring human tribes into the Vetral Empire, using forgotten technology to try to ascend to the stars. The game starts with you as Teriel, a thief in this empire, and when a job seems to go wrong, he is sent to the prison colony of Peh, where his only way out is to accomplish the mission that has been forced upon him. The island you end up on is an open world, and you can explore and encounter quests and subquests to your heart's content. Although the character that you play is limited to just Teriel, the game itself still allows for a wide variety of playstyles using just the one character, and one of the things that most impressed me was how you can approach the same goal through multiple different methods, meaning that some quests can be accomplished by vastly different play types, and feel a little bit different each time you go through. Character progression isn't done with experience and levels as in other RPGs, but through the accumulation and customization of equipment. During the game, you'll get the opportunity to loot and salvage a number of weapons, armor types, different gadgets, and so on, such as traps, lockpicks, grenades, various syringes with healing or augmenting concoctions, etc., etc. Special skills are handled through a skill chip, which can have skills that you unlock loaded onto it. Throughout the game, you can loot various junk items, then break those items down into their component parts, which may be recombined in a crafting station. The general crafting system allows for the creation and upgrade of most gear and equipment, while things like alchemy stations are used to concoct various syringes and poisons and so on. This is not only the sort of thing that allows you to create a variety of permanent equipment, but also to stock up on particular items you might need for a particular quest, or to customize that equipment with various add-ons and such. Aside from the gear-based progression, exploration and combat flow together, with there being many options for stealth, running, climbing, jumping, rolling, and so on to get your character from point A to point B. These are all interacting with a combat system that consists of a real-time based combo system with secondary attacks, to make for a rather fluid encounter system overall. Being a thief, you'll probably want to avoid combat many times, but due to the equipment customizations, you can readily craft a set of gear that focuses more on frontline combat than stealth. Of course, there's plenty of ways to take out or avoid patrolling guards and the like from stealth as well, so the approach will vary much depending on your playstyle and the mission. Many times, if you're caught, the best approach is actually just to flee through any means necessary, so you can hide and wait for your searchers to lose interest. I was very impressed by the sheer number of options available, as I said, when traveling around Peh, including the aforementioned mobility, but also such things as setting traps, picking pockets, causing distractions, and just outright lifting objects when somebody's back is turned. It really does make the main character feel like a proper thief with a variety of skills at his disposal, even if they aren't clearly delineated by the old RPG skill point system you see in many other games. There are a few other mini-games, a hacking mini-game and a lock-picking mini-game, the latter of which somewhat resembles that used in the Elder Scrolls series. Neither one seems overly complex though, and I was rather pleased to see a hacking mini-game that didn't seem the same sort of drag that so many other games with this sort of interface end up with. Control can be done through the mouse and keyboard or through the gamepad, which I was glad to see, as I often find games more intuitive using a gamepad if they're this sort of action RPG. Graphically, the game is pretty well done, actually, with a style that fits right in there between realistic and animated, and really helps sell the world. I've heard some people had frame rate problems, which boiled down to a CPU issue over a graphical issue, but I didn't encounter them personally, and from what I understand, if you adjust the frame rate lock in the options menu, it will go far in alleviating this issue if you encounter it. Hopefully, there'll be some more optimization later on, because it's truly a very well put together site. Furthermore, the sound design is outstanding, with an immersive soundtrack and a decent voice acting that makes this almost seem like a Victorian-era backstreet rather than a sci-fi dystopia. As fluid and fun as the gameplay is, and as solid as the sound and graphics are, the atmosphere is what really sells this game, although I suppose all of the above kind of combine to make that happen. The world genuinely feels well developed just by sight and sound, although if you want to delve further into the lore, there's the occasional lore book available, as well as memories and other journal entries that expand on things that the character should know. The game does have its flaws. The aforementioned frame rate issue may impact some people, and sometimes finding a particular part for a quest or to build an object may be a little bit tedious. I found that the combat wasn't to my liking personally, but then I'm a fan of more turn-based offerings in general, so your mileage may vary. There's also how busy the world is at times, which can make it hard sometimes to tell when you've been spotted or when you need to engage in some stealth or hijinks or whatever, without some random, nameless NPC walking by. Outside of town, it does get a little better. I still, even with all this considered, found that the pros way outweigh the cons on this game, and I really enjoy the atmosphere and the gameplay overall. I'm not certain about just how much gameplay there actually is. The world did seem relatively expansive, and with a price of $29.99, even if it ends up a little bit on the short side, it's still about par for the course and within the realm of the reasonable. A good thing is that the way you can go through it with different playstyles means that there's probably some replay value there. All in all, I have to rank this as one of my really pleasantly surprising recommendations this year. I do intend to play more of this, so we'll see how it holds up. The fact it's available on GOG.com as well as on Steam is a really nice plus. And on that note, I'll call it here. This has been the RPG Crawler with Indie Game Friday 7, The Days Long Gone. Link will be in the description below as always. If you like what you've seen, remember to leave a like, comment if you got any feedback, and subscribe for more RPG content, both tabletop and computer. Until next time, take care and goodbye.